Hello, my lovelies. Welcome back to the podcast. I'm Jenna, your host. It looks a little different today. I'm in a different room of my house. So, we're going to discuss the pitfalls of dealing with liars. So, one of the things that I have learned in my 45 years on this planet is that some way, some shape or form, the truth always comes out. If you are dealing with a person who is spiritually inclined, as in myself, spirit will rat you out to us. It might come through a tarot reading. It might not even be me that's reading it. It could come in a dream. It could come from a random stranger that the news somehow is evolved and somebody knows the truth. So I will give you examples of that. So a few weeks back, I had a dream about my boyfriend, and I had a dream that he had run off to the casino and he had blown all of the money that we had to pay bills with, right? Pay mortgage, buy groceries, all that stuff, yada, yada. So I woke up that morning and I was like, that's not even the slightest bit cool. Like, it was really unsettling to me. And I told him and he laughed at me. And he was like, well, first of all, I'm broke, so that's not going to happen. But yeah, I like to gamble. I brushed it off. I have weird dreams all the freaking time. So to me, it was like, it's fine. It's just a dream. Fast forward to this weekend. He had gotten super ticked off at me, if you saw the other video, and so he left without saying a word, and he went and he blew his entire paycheck at the casino. Did I predict that? Kind of looks that way. I have found things out about people without even trying most of my life. I remember when we first got together, he told me, you know what you should be doing? You should be working for the FBI. And I laughed and I said, why would I work for the FBI? And he said, because you have this way about you that you look at somebody and it's like they can't hide secrets from you. They just expose themselves. So people in my world tend to not be able to hide things from me. Not because I'm purposely, energetically trying to spy on them or anything, but because if spirit thinks that I need to know the information, they're going to show it to me. Sometimes it's a form of self-protection, right? Like, I need to protect my own energy from not so good energies, things like that. So spirit will expose people to me if it's necessary. Now, I will tell you, as a medium, I don't just go and read people's energy for no reason. They have to give me permission to do so. That's an ethical thing for me. There are other people out there that do it just because they're able to, and I'm not one of them. So it's not like I purposely am trying to sift through your deepest, darkest secrets or anything. I never do. But if spirit feels that I need information, they're going to find a way to give it to me. So liars, cheaters, thieves, manipulators, and untrustworthy people, we don't work real well together, because my purpose is that I have to be truthful, and I am a truthful person. So point blank, if somebody asks me something, I'm not going to lie to you about it. I'm just going to tell you. The truth might suck, but I'm still going to tell the truth, because I don't want the blowback. So I'm always honest. I'm usually honest to a fault. Sometimes my honesty is not well received. Sometimes it hurts people's feelings, because sometimes the truth can be hurtful. Sometimes the truth can be ugly. But I'm a firm believer that the truth is the truth no matter which way you slice it, and that the truth should be how you conduct yourself, regardless of how you feel about it. So truth bombs, I tend to give those to people. Not always in the best way. I'm still human at heart, and I still have flaws just like every other human on the planet. But I feel like the truth definitely exposes people, and especially people who are trying to hide behind vices or things that are not good, people who kind of project things onto other people. I can't deal with that long term. That's something that's really, really difficult for me. So when people lie about me, spirit tends to out them to me. If people are talking shit behind my back, spirit tends to expose those people to me, usually in a very public way. So you never know who or how they are spiritually protected. So you want to be careful when you deal with people, because somebody could seem like a nobody, but they might have a ton of energetic protection on the other side. And spirit doesn't play with people like that. They protect them. And sometimes it's detrimental to the people who have tried to sabotage that person's path. So keep that in mind. be truthful, be faithful, be somebody that has integrity, because that actually does matter in the grand scheme of things. I can remember many, many years ago having an inkling of somebody that I was dating and just feeling like there was something not quite right about them. I didn't quite know what it was just yet, but I remember having dreams about things and it ended up playing out. So an example, my ex-husband, we had already separated, and I had a dream one night that there was a girl named Mandy that he was seeing. Okay, so a few weeks go by, we have like an exchange with the kids, and his mom, I think, had mentioned something about Mandy. And I was like, oh, is that your new girlfriend? And he kind of went white. And I looked at him and I said, well, you can't hide, because I had a dream. I know her first and last name. And I said them to him. And he was just like, how would you know that? And I said, I had a dream about it. Good luck. Hope it works out for you. And I left. Spirit will out people very easily to me. Usually it used to come in a dream. Now sometimes it just happens, like I just get a random download, or downloads are like random thoughts that Spirit gives all of us, right? So sudden knowing, sudden like, oh, that's it. That's the answer I've been looking for. Things like that tend to happen. So there's been so many instances in my life that have happened that way, where like I either have a download, I have a dream about things. Friends or family groups sometimes will out people to me without even realizing it. It's like I may already have that sudden that feeling of yeah, I don't know that I believe that so much. And then all of a sudden something will happen to confirm that, right? Like another person confirms it without even knowing that there's an issue going on. So Spirit will come through with confirmation. They're very, very good about that. So if you're struggling, if you feel like you don't know if you can trust certain people, ask Spirit to clarify that for you. Ask Spirit to reveal the people who are your hidden enemies, and they will start opening up, and they will start kind of verbal vomiting and spilling their secrets. It's just how it works. In the grand scheme of things, Spirit needs everybody to be on the up and up. And if you're not part of that, where you're on the up and up and being truthful, something's going to be exposed. Have you ever heard of warding your name? It's like putting a little razzle dazzle on your name so that if people are doing deceitful things behind your back, they'll be exposed for it. I have one on my name, and it's supposed to bring me money. So good or bad, if people are talking about me, nothing bad happens to them necessarily. They're just exposed, and it pays me. So that's something that you guys can actually do on your own. It's a pretty simple little thing. I did it just because I wanted to try it a long time ago. I refresh it every so often, and it's crazy how quick it can actually happen. So if you are like enchanting or protecting or warding your name, you want to make very clear what your intention is. I usually put in there harm to none, because I don't want any blowback with what I do, but I always put something in there about exposing people who are no good for me on purpose, because I don't want a circle of people I can't trust. To me, trust is a huge, huge thing for me. And if I can't trust you, why would I want anything to do with you? You know, like seriously, if your circle is small, and mine's incredibly small these days, why would you want to entertain anybody in your energy that isn't good for you, that wants to cause you any sort of pain or harm? That seems kind of crazy, doesn't it? But we surround ourselves with people sometimes, maybe we're afraid to hurt their feelings. Maybe they're friends or family, and we can't really completely cut them off. I'm a firm believer you can, but you know what I mean? It's like one of those things where maybe we really do need stronger boundaries. Maybe we really do need to call in spiritual or energetic protection. Maybe we need to ward our name, our bank account, whatever. But we need to do some of these things just to protect ourselves. So have you been the recipient of a truth bomb in your lifetime, meaning that somebody dropped a load of truth in your lap? Maybe it was good, maybe it was bad. Maybe you had to figure out how to navigate through those changes once the truth was illuminated. Do you keep your circle small? Do you allow people in that are no good for you? And if you do, why? What is the reason behind that? Is it fear? Is it rejection? Is it codependency? What are the reasons? Because this podcast was originally created to share knowledge and to help us to break unhealthy cycles so that we can transform and live our best life. So Spirit's put me in a position to do that, to show you guys, some of it's going to be through my own trial and error, apparently, of how to navigate through these challenges, through these difficulties, through these things that apparently a lot of people in my collective are experiencing or have experienced at some point in their life. So we're going to figure things out. We're going to make it to the other side of this, and it's going to be okay. Although it might be a bit of a struggle in the interim, right? There's lots of frustration sometimes. There's lots of the unknown creates a lot of anxiety and fear, and I struggle with that too. It's one of those things where I don't want to be fearful. I don't want to struggle with things, but I'm also fucking human. And so I do, right? It's one of those things that sometimes we have a lot of control over and sometimes we have little control over. But either way, it is what it is, right? So I had an epiphany the other day. I'm going to actually go grab that. A little challenge that I want my lovelies to participate in if they are so inclined. And I want to see what we do with this going forward. All right. Now, this came to me really late at night one night. Some random thoughts that I have, after I do my thing. So I wrote it all down. So my brain told me it was called a social experiment. Keep track for 1 day or 1 week at a time. How many interactions do you have? Each one is a point going forward. In person, online, any communication, positive or negative. Keep track of it, 1 point. And then you total it each day. Then subtract self-love and self-care, right? Everything on the list is 1 point. So let's say my interaction with people on social media, for each person that it is, it's 1 point. So let's say I answered emails. Let's say I had 5 emails to answer. That's 5 points. Was it a positive experience or a negative experience? Note that. And then you're going to subtract self-love and self-care. Add in alone time, grounding, meditation, or prayer. Remember, everything is 1 point, and we're going to total it at the end of each day. So out of all of those, what's left for you? Are we in a deficit? Are we in overflow? So let's see if we give to ourselves or not. And by giving to you first, it makes sure that we always have enough left over to give to others, right? We're not depleted. We have more than enough, because you cannot pour from an empty cup, right? Can you? No, there's nothing to give if you're on empty. It's not selfish, it's necessity at this point. We embrace weird over here. We don't run from it. So welcome to the weird. Welcome to this new era that we're in. And then at the end of the week, I want to know how you did, positive or negative. Did you have any time to do anything that made you happy? And then where can you improve? Did it surprise you, your results? I feel like there's lots and lots of examples out there of how we can improve things going forward. And one of those was a church sermon that I happened to pick up and watch one night. It was on YouTube. It's called Elevation Church, and it's the pastor Stephen Furtick's wife, Holly. She's really funny to watch. I really enjoy her. So the sermon was about what we're meant to carry. Okay. And so what are we meant to carry? What can we carry? What is our weight to burden? And what are we carrying that's not ours? So I wrote that I sometimes forget how much I have to do in a day, weeks, or in a year. There's always someone or something that needs me, or something that needs my attention, and it's exhausting. On top of work, house, kids, dogs, dinner, yard work, hobbies, worry, confusion, I'm tired, right? That's what I wrote down in my journal. I'm tired. So I asked God if He will start to carry me so that I can rest, so that I can recover, so I can live happy, enjoy life again. Will you carry me? Can you carry me? So what is it that you are required or need to carry? What is your burden that you need to carry? Are you carrying other people's load that isn't your job? In her demonstration, she had a weighted vest that she put on. And apparently the vest with everything in it weighed an additional 18 pounds. And so the purpose of wearing the weighted vest was it's supposed to help your muscles like become stronger as you wear it and you work out and you exercise. Well, she didn't realize that you're supposed to work up to that weight. She started out with the thing fully loaded and she realized, oh, this is really heavy. I can't carry all of this. It's a lot of extra weight. She started taking out the little blocks of weight and she realized, okay, that's a lot better. It was empty. So she slowly added a brick at a time that she could manage, right? 2 to 5 pounds. Okay, that was manageable. I think hers was around 8 or 10 pounds, that it was comfortable. It was enough resistance for her, but she could carry that weight, okay? And so the point of all of this is we might feel really weighed down because we're carrying other people's baggage. We're carrying their load. Are you able to take some of that off your plate? Now, I know not everybody can do that, right? You might be a single parent, you might have all these obligations and no help from anyone. So I totally get that. But are there some things that maybe you don't have to do anymore? Are there some things that maybe can wait a little while without there being a huge disruption in your life? That is the point I'm trying to make. So this social experiment that I would love for you guys to participate in literally doesn't require a ton of effort other than keeping track of all of your interactions with humans. Online, in person, email, text, any sort of communication between you and another human being in any form gets 1 point. And then, is it positive or negative? So I just added a little like positive or a negative next to each of the things that I was keeping track of. So that keeps it kind of simple. So I'm a person that has had anxiety for most of my life and I worry about things, even though I know that's not good. I know it's not healthy. It's the human essence of fear, right? And we worry because we don't know what the outcome is going to be. So if we knew what the outcome would be, we could deal with it, right? Because we have all the facts to figure it out. Without that, it creates a little bit of internal conflict and turmoil. So I asked for specific signs from God if he's going to help me through this transition. Real specific. Ask for specific stuff. That way you know it's for you when you see it. And if it's not clear enough, say, I need something else, and be specific about that because they will show you. So I feel like Spirit is always trying to communicate with us, but that I feel like Spirit's also trying to tell us that we might need to pause here and there. And that's hard for me because I have this restless energy where I always feel like I have to be doing something. It's a trauma response that I'm working to figure out how to let go of. Part of that comes from the household I grew up in. We weren't allowed to just sit around and be on our butts all the time. We had to get up and do stuff all the time. And that carried over into my adult life where I never felt like I could relax. I never felt like I could sit down, or I would be accused of being lazy. And that's not who I am at my core. I'm not a lazy person. I'm super productive all the time. Even on my worst days when I'm in excruciating pain and I can hardly walk or I can hardly talk, I still find the way to get up and do what I have to do. And I think women in general do that. Not discounting men, don't come for me in the comments. However, I do feel like women tend to hold families together. And without that link there, I do feel like a lot of things tend to fall apart. So I feel like we need to really nurture the things that we want to grow in life. I feel like we need to take into account what kind of baggage are we fucking carrying at this point. And if it's too heavy, then we need to let it go. Something needs to be released in order for us to make the change to find the balance, right? Okay? So what in your life is exhausting you to the point where you need Spirit to carry it for you? What are some things that you're able to let go willingly that you don't want to carry anymore? And is the weight that you're carrying yours, or does it belong to other people that need to bear the brunt of their own problems instead of you? It's a lot of food for thought. This isn't going to be a long episode this week, but I would love to know the results at the end of the week. You can leave me a comment, you can shoot me an email, whatever you feel like you want to do. But I want to know, I want to check in with my lovelies. How are you doing this week? Are you good? Do you need anything? If you need help, if you need, a safe place to vent, feel free, leave a comment. I read all of them and I try and respond if there's, questions or whatever. But I really feel like it is time for us to let go of the heavy load. and stop carrying the weight of other people's opinions, the weight of other people's problems, and to focus on what makes us happy and to find joy out of life again. Have a good week, guys. We'll see you next time.